So, remembering our temples and the gongs, we're here to give the call for the devotees to come together, gather together for our parikram, which only we can do. Some things we can only do in the way we are doing. We're gathering in Chaitanya Saraswat Matan Mission in Vrindavan, but we're going to jump. We are going to jump. Distance is no object. We're going to jump today over to Radha Kunda and Shyama Kunda, and that side to Govardhan very soon. Yes. But first of all,
Krishna Lila employs the principle of attraction and expansion of time and space. So distances, time, those things become irrelevant in Nitya Lila and to the devotees who enter that stream. So we'll be following you in Keshvananda Prabhu Maharaj.
Oh, well, Maharaj, I do believe we were just saying we are following you by jumping to Govinda, to Radha Kunda and Shyama Kunda.
I get in Sandeep Krishna Prabhu's car. And he
well, we get in those very noisy, as we call them, dinosaur three-wheeler things. And go
yes, and Krishna Nagar, and they used to call it Tempo.
Yep, Tempo.
Tempo. It's a three-wheeled pickup truck. Tuk-tuk.
All right.
Start the tuk-tuk.
Thailand tuk-tuk. Well, the tuk-tuk is a very civilized form of a tempo. Streamlined, silenced, smoothened form.
Yeah.
All right. So Maharaj, devotees are gathering together, and I think that now we're a couple of minutes in. Let us give our obeisances to all of the devotees who are gathered here and begin with an auspicious invocation to start our day's parikrama.
Yes. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhuvevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And it will be appropriate if we say the prayer of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, who resides in the northeastern corner of Sri Radhakunda, and it's that way to our beloved Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Saraswati Thakur, our Sri Guru Varga Das Goswami's prayer, if you know, and with melody via Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. So it sings he goes, Namasrestam manumapi sachiputra atra swarupam rupam tasyam dupurim maturim gostavatim Radha Kundam Girivarmaho Radhika Madhavasam Prapato Jasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurun Tanmatosmi. And Srila Gurudev would say that normally the Vaishnavas, they're always saying they've not got, right? That's one sign, they never say that they possess these things. It's always an aspiration, as we'll hear later, Ashavari Amrita Sindhu, of Das Goswami. We always express things in terms of aspiration. We don't say that we are devotees. We're aspiring servants of the servant of the servant of a Vaishnava. That's the proper approach. But Srila Gurudev said, interestingly, here, Das Goswami is saying, got. Right? Prapta means to acquire, to receive, to achieve, to have. But lest he be accused of, arrogant self-assertion, he's saying, Prapto Jasya, Pratita Kripaya, by the mercy of Sri Gurun Tanmatosmi. So he's saying, I cannot deny what is the gift of Sri Guru and the Guru Varga, Nama Shrestam, the best of the names, Nikhila Shruti Moli Ratnamala, Rupa Goswami is saying, the Shrutis themselves personified they say the supreme sound is the holy name of Krishna. The what is it? The Nikila Shruti Moli Ratnama, the like crown jewel of all spiritual sounds. And Guru Maharaj says very interestingly, saying, if they don't say that, it is to commit suicide. What does he mean? They're Shrutis, they're personified sound. So they should be in favor of promoting and singing the glories of sound, but all of them together, they're saying the supreme sound is the holy name of Krishna. Like Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and his Nitai Chaitanya Arati and Jagannath Puri, Madhusudan Maharaj, I think you know, and he talks there about the 108, like, you know, sometimes we see in Lakta, they have 108 ghee lamp, and you see Anandamoy Prabhu, and they light it up, and you know, and it's something to behold. Right? But Gurudev, and remember, Shikha, the Shikha is this, or it's compared to the flame on the ghee lamp. That is also Shikha. Right? So Gurudev in his poetry there very beautifully is saying that those 108 Upanishads and those Shrutis and everything, they're like flames illuminating and revealing the glories of Nitai and Chaitanya. So here also the supreme sound, Namashrestam, Manumapi, Sachiputra, like say how Krishna, Mahaprabhu, they like to be glorified in relation to their devotees. So Sachinandan, the son of Mother Sachi, right? You know, Nandanandan, Yashodanandan. Gurudev liked very much in the beginning of the Garga Sangita. He's saying, what kind of pranam is this? Like you expect for Veda Vyas, some huge sort of mantra with you know, that long chand rhyming scheme, and this how do you say, you know, what is it, pomp, you know, big pronouncement. And he said, what does it say there? He said, I'm offering obeisances to the son of the fisher girl. Right? Gurudev liked that. He said, oh, so bringing his mother's name, but the fisher girl. Right? So Sachiputra, then Atra Swarupam. Who is that Swarup that we spoke of? Swarup Damodar. When if the Kaviraj Goswami says, and I'm mildly paraphrasing, where he said, if you know anything substantially about Mahaprabhu, you must have heard it from Swarup Damodar. That must be the source. So as we heard yesterday, the Chaitanya Lila Ratnasar Bandar. That's what Kaviraj, he's like the storehouse of all the gems of Chaitanya Lila. Atras Rupam, Rupam Drusham, you know, and means Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Rishimatam, no, that's another one. Atras Rupam, huh? Madhupuri, right? Namashresa Manumapi Sachiputra Atras Rupam. Rupam Tasya Madhupurim. Maturim goes to them. So Madhupuri, as we know, Mahaprabhu is asking Raghupati Upadhyay, you can extract the essential thing, everything we should know from the scriptures in 3 slokas. And Guru Maharaj indicates, and where did he get this? Madhavendra Puri. So the first one, you know, Srila Gurudev, the famous, well, first comes Shrutim Apari, Itim Itare, we mentioned the other day, Bharatamane, Bhajanta, Bhavabhita, Ahangiha, Nandam Bande, Yashalande, Param Brahma. Shrutis, Mahabharata, Upanishads, they're all trying to connect with the Param Brahma, where you say, but that Param Brahma is crawling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, and then onto the lap of Yashoda and Damodar. He's drinking her breast milk happily this holy month of Damodar, Kartik Mas, Urja Brat. Then the next verse Gurudev quoted at the opening of the Chandrodaya Mandir in Mayapur, because Mahaprabhu was saying, very nice. In one verse, gone from all the revealed truth into Vatsalya Rasa. Not only into Raga Bhakti, but Vatsalya Rasa. One step more. And Mahaprabhu, oh, very interested, very happy. Anything more you can say? When they come pratikatayitam, you say, samprati pratitamaya Gopa Tanaya Kunje, Gopa Viduti Vitam Brahma. And that Param Brahma crawling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj and onto the lap of Yashoda. Is there anyone I can tell this to? And if you can find them, would they believe me? That he's hunting the gopi girls in the kunja of Vrindavan, Gopa Tanaya Kunje, Gopa Viduti Vitam Brahma. That Param Brahma you were talking about before, Upanishad, Shrutis, Mahabharata, all that, then to Nanda, Yashoda. Then, is there anyone I could tell this to? Would anyone believe? And we know Srila Gurudev said that with regard to, like, I was with, Swami Maharaj when he was Abhay Babu, and we had breakfast together. He had his puri and aloo dum, and offered to me, and I told, no, I'm satisfied with muri. And he said, that is cheating the stomach. He treated me like his loving, affectionate son. And he said, and so who would believe? And when he said it, Srila Prabhupada Swami Maharaj said to everyone, he said, what Govinda Maharaj says is true. I regard him as my loving, affectionate son, and his Guru Maharaj, Sridhar Maharaj, as my Shiksha Guru. This is all truth that he is speaking. But so he's saying, that Abhay Babu, I distributed his Back to Godhead magazine, ate breakfast with him. He taught me Bhagavad Gita. That he fulfilled Mahaprabhu's Pritibhi Ache Jata Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Mornam, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's prediction on the order of Saraswati Thakur. He would, is there anyone I can tell this to him? Would they believe me? And Guru Maharaj said, when Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj said this, then Babaji Maharaj popped up and went, Hare Krishna. He said, because he saw he had captured the audience. Babaji Maharaj thought, this is glorious, victorious, so perfect. Like, how could he extract that? He was not expecting to speak. Guru Maharaj was invited, and Guru Maharaj means Srila Gurudev. They have to be conceived together, side by side. So if Guru Maharaj is going, then of course, Srila Govinda Maharaj will bring Guru Maharaj. Otherwise, Guru Maharaj not going. But Guru Maharaj wasn't feeling 100%, so he spoke something. And I'll just say that, because he did say it there, and we just said Namasrestam. And just to say, even I was shocked to hear Guru Maharaj say this. I'm thinking, like, this is a public meeting. It's the inauguration of the Chaitanya Chandrodaya Mandir in Mayapur. And Guru Maharaj said, if you take the holy name of Krishna, one day you will find yourself as a member of his harem. And I went, what? Let me play that. Listen to that again. Oh, that's what Guru Maharaj is saying at the opening of the Chandrodaya Mandir in Vrindavan. Anyway, we're not going to go there, don't worry. But he did say that. That's the power of the holy name of Krishna, to take one into that domain. So in line with this verse, so who can I tell? Who would believe me? But then the third part comes. So Mahaprabhu is totally enthralled by Raghupati Upadhyay, saying, anything more you can tell? He said, oh, no, then Mahaprabhu says, what is the, how do you say, the supreme form of Krishna, Rupam of Krishna, the supreme abode, the supreme age, and the supreme rasa. What a question. I mean, when you think about it. And he's got the answer. I mean, Mahaprabhu bringing this out of his devotees and to his great delight. And he says, Shyamam eva param rupam. The supreme form, Shyama Sundar. Yak Shyama Sundar, Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Gunas Rupam. And in that regard, we have to say, Govinda Sundar is also Shyama Sundar. When can you perceive that? Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santak Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. The Vaishnavas are not seeing the Paramatma in their heart. That is the yogis. Paramatmas of the yogis. What is the Vaishnavas seeing their son? Yang Shyama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam. The Achintya Guna Swarup of Shyama Sundar Krishna is in the heart of such devotees. So, supreme form, Shyama Eva Param Rupam, Puri, Madhupuri Bara. And it's so Puri, we can say it's like city, but that's hardly does it justice, like domain, region, Puri. He says, he means Mathura, like our Maheshwari deity is our resident Mathura Basi, right? Born in Mathura. So he means to say Mathura, but he says Madhupuri. And what does it say in this verse of Raghunath Das Goswami? Madhupurim. Right? So, well, just to finish this. So then what is the supreme age? Kishore. Kishore means Krishna, like the Kumar, Poganda, Kishore. Kumar pastimes with Nanda Yashoda as baby, toddler, little child. Then 6 to 10, Poganda, 10 to 16, Kishore, when he's Gopa Kishore, Navayovana Krishna, right? Although Advaitam Achurimanadi Mananta Rupam, Adyam Purana Purusham. He's the original and therefore the oldest of persons, but like on the Sistine Chapel, no, Michelangelo, no, not like that. Navayovana, he's appearing as a Kishore, teenager, eternally. No, supreme age, and then supreme rasa, Adyo Eva Rasa, Adi Rasa, the original Madhura Rasa, of which Guru said all other rasas are satellites or clients. Right? Matrim Gostavatim. Today, Bahulastami, Gosta means the Gopas, Gopis, the cowherd section, who are technically the lower section of society. Because if you look at Varnashram, like 1, 2, 3, 4, there's, Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So if you draw a line in the middle, then that means Vaishya and Shudra, they're in the lower section of society. So Krishna disguised as, this cowherd boy goes to Bhatim and being worshipped by the Braja Gopis, who, again, only Guru Maharaj can say it. He said, the half-civilized, stupid jungle girls. He means silly, like the way teenage girls are silly. They're just mad for Krishna, like mad teenage girls, except it's Krishna, and they're the Braja Gopis, and it's the supreme reality. What is Krishna religion? I ask you. Right? So goes to Bhatim. Then what? Radha Kundam, Giri Baramaho. Radha Kundam, we will hear something about today, and where Das Goswami also spent his final times. Giri Barama, Giri Govardhan, Adri Raja, Koladri Raja, Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Matabara, Udgita Kirtir Jayasram, Bibrat Sambati, Ganga Tatanikata, Navadvipa, Kola, Adri Raja, means Gupta Govardhan. Radha Kundam Giri Baramaho, then Radhika Madhavasam. There's that Asam, Asamaho Charanarenu, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu. Asam means this aspiration for their service. This is the Prayojan Tattva, charge of the Rupa Nuga line. Still using the word aspiration, aspirational. Right? And where does this appear again? In the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Pranam. The Srimad Chaitanya Saraswati Gita Vibrat Kaladi Raja Yatra Sri Gora Saraswata Nirata Gora Gata Grananti Nityam Rupa Nuga Sri Kritimati Guru Gauranga Radha Jita Sham. There's the Asha, to this aspiration to achieve that service someday in the line, the Rupa Nuga line. Radhika Madhavasam, same thing. Radhika. So Radha Kundam Giri Baramaho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Jasya. He said, all this has been, this is the gift of our Guru Varga. Right? Pratita Kripa Sri Gurun Tan Matosmi Sri Radha Parasevanamritamaho Tadatumi Shobhavan. This is the gift of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to the world. So we asked yesterday that our dear God sister Kum Didi, if she would speak something this evening with, when you're dealing with the infinite, there are an infinite number of entry points, inflection points. And so it's really up to you, Kum Didi, what you shall decide to share with us. But if you would be so kind and gracious to speak something this evening. Hare Krishna.
My Dandavat again and again to you, Maharaj, and to Srila Madhusudan Maharaj and Keshvananda Prabhu and all of the devotees there who are attending on this most auspicious day. And I have been reflecting, especially in the last few days of parikrama, about our extremely fortunate position as a student, how different it is from being a student in mundane affairs, where if you don't attain a certain level for which you are greatly respected, then you feel a loss, and you will always feel that because there's no end to that kind of mundane knowledge. And the complete opposite of that, being trying to be a student of those great Vaishnavas who themselves always consider themselves a student. And so just to be on that path being the most rewarding thing that we can, the position we can ever aspire for. And being at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar, beginning that path of being a student of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Maharaj, and this being inconceivable. Why would he come and allow us to see how this current, which we had received from Srila Prabhupada, is still flowing in a very healthy way, and making their mercy to call us in for no reason except that is their will. And to be able to go to Sri Govardhan on this holy day where Srila Gurudev took sannyas,
yes,
and is eternally residing in the holy place of Govardhan. And we just once, but got to be at his lotus feet there and receiving.
Gurudev's. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, yeah. picture of Gurudev Samadhi in Govardhan. Yeah. Yes, please, just telling them to show the picture of Srila Gurudev's Pushpa Samadhi in Govardhan to go with what you're saying. Please continue.
And well, I recall one afternoon in particular being there with him on the veranda outside his room, and he was talking, and then things became quiet, and I was stunned to think of all of the experiences I had had there. And my eyes happened to fall on a beautiful Tulsi plant. And I was just noticing how vibrant she looked and how large. And then I started wondering if my eyes were playing tricks on me, because she was so large, at least 3 feet tall and wide, but I couldn't see her pot. And then I was looking for it, and I almost had to get up and walk around her to confirm, but she was growing out of one brick, one small brick, and this beautiful Tulsi plant was manifesting. It really struck me as so appropriate to be there at his holy feet. I also received there the great fortune of hopping a ride with you, Maharaj, when you wanted to go and search out some holy places. And it took us a while, but we had a very good Jeep ride. And
yes, we got lost. We were searching for Kadam Kandi. This is the first time. We had not been there. And
right.
We got lost. But getting lost in Vrindavan is a wonderful thing. So we found the place of Sudevi and like many things along the way. But yes, please continue. And ultimately, Kadam.
Yes, and when we finally arrived there, but I was watching the devotees, great anticipation. Manindra Mohan Prabhu was also there, Sharnangi Didi, and first, as you mentioned, first time we went to there's another place called Kadamba Kandi, which the locals directed us to. Like, okay, that was nice, but oops. And then we continued and got there, and I even learned from your holy self about the importance of sitting on something. The speaker is going to have an asana out of a way to glorify the topic that they're speaking on. Because when I got there, I plopped down, having a lot of pain at that time, on the first place that I saw to sit without thinking. And then you began. You were going to speak about the great pastimes there, and I just could see what I had done, and should I move? And you found an old piece of burlap, but this will do, and you put that down. And ever since then, when I've always wondered as a pujari, why do we also offer, make prayers and offer a flower to the pujari's rug? And that from then on, I could understand, because the topic, the service that is going on is worshipable. And so what gives facility for that is also very high. And so that was an important, even though it seems like a small lesson, very instructive on the path of trying to approach service. We also went to a place that you found called Uddhav Kyari.
Yes.
Yes. And there were some old cowherd boys there. They had been cowherd boys their whole life, so they still had that servitor attitude, and showed us that
it looked like they'd been there for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I don't know where they came from. But yes, continue. Because remember, that's the place where Srila Guru Maharaj considered retiring. That was first on his list, is Uddhav Kyari. That means the place where Uddhava delivered his message to the Braja Gopis, and Radharani does the Brahmar Gita, her talks to the bumblebee.
Yes, yes. And you pointed out that the question may arise in seeing Barshana, how did she come in only a couple of steps, a few steps to that place, because it's in a distance? And the explanation being that the holy Dham can expand and contract according to the necessity.
Seva.
Yes. So many astounding bits of instruction for an aspiring, and someone aspiring can't even conceive of being a devotee, but being accepted by devotees. So, want to hear from you.
Hare Krishna. Jai Kum Kum Diri Ki Jai. Thank you for reminding us of that. And the one thing I remember too, and Avadut Maharaj was there as well. Those cowherd men had like the handlebar mustaches and the big turbans. They were the real deal, as they say. And one thing they said that really touched me is, and they're like from their hearts, they said, when we were children, there were such wonderful festivals here that we would come and attend. But now this place has been neglected, and like, so please, if you can, restore the glory, that former time where there'll be wonderful. That's all they wanted. They didn't ask anything for us. They just said, for this place, that it will be known, how glorious it is. And that's the very place that Srila Guru Maharaj, that's where he wanted. Remember, in this month of Kartik, that is when Guru Maharaj, in the aftermath of Sri Gaudiya Mat, he's praying, what shall he do? How will he go on? Because sometimes the subject comes to the devotees, how to go on after the disappearance of Sri Guru. As Guru Maharaj says, the greatest tragedy in the life of the aspiring servitor, but then the real test comes, how we will go on in separation. Das Goswami himself being the supreme example, as he couldn't tolerate the departure of Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar. And we know, left Puri, saying, I'll go to Vrindavan, have a darshan of Govardhan, Radha Kunda and Govardhan, and then throw myself from Govardhan and finish this life. But then we're told, then he sees Rup and Sanatan and says, oh, Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar are alive in them. So now I have a reason to continue living. And those of us who, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and then found, and the separation from Prabhupada is now found that current alive in Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev can, especially, this resonates in our hearts. So I use that term sometimes, trifecta, 3 times perfect, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Gurudev. So anyway, in this holy month of Kartik, Guru Maharaj comes, he's doing the Brajamandal Parikrama, praying how he will go on. Also, what is he doing? He is collecting for Prapana Jivanamritam, studying the scriptures, scrutinizingly. He's trying to understand the essence of Sharanagati, in the line of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his work. So he's collecting for Prapana Jivanamritam, doing that. And then Uddhav Kyari, that place, the Brahma Gita. We're told there's 2 zenith points we can conceive, separate that Rath-yatra, the meeting in Kurukshetra, after 100 years of intolerable separation. And that's the principal pastime of Mahaprabhu and his devotees every year. Just think about that. That's the one they all come together for. And that's where all of this Radha Bhav is like Guru Maharaj said, volcanic eruptions coming from the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But when he gets released from Advaita Acharya and he's done the public seva, the distribution of Krishna Prem through Nam Sankirtan, and going behind closed doors in the Gangbir with Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, Lalita Vishaka, what are we told there? The code, you can say, that Kaviraj Goswami gives, saying, what behind closed doors, 24/7, last 12 years of his manifest pastimes, what is it? Uddhava Darshan. So then we think, like, what does that mean? This is what it means. It means Brahma or Gita. That's what it means. Because what happens at the time of the Uddhava Darshan, when he comes with that message, Radharani says these things. And, you know, I asked Srila Gurudev, can you get Srila Guru Maharaj to give his explanation of the Gayatri Mantra, where he extracts Radha Dasram, right? He said, from the womb of Gayatri, you know, Arto Yam Brahmasutranam Bharatartha Vinirnaya Gayatri Vasya Ruposho Vedartha Paribringhita. And he did that. It's very beautiful. It's on the tape. And we published that he says certain things to Srila Guru Maharaj to sort of send Guru Maharaj's heart in a particular direction. And then that Gayatri explanation came out. So I was so astonished. And many things happened. But that was particularly noteworthy, special, and unique. Right? But I had heard from Guru Maharaj that Babaji Maharaj, Ban Maharaj, they thought this Guru Maharaj's explanation of the Brahma or Gita, that he was the expert of that. But that's something we can't generally hear or discuss, right? I sometimes quote that one line, Yad anucharti lila karna piyusha biprut, where Radharani is saying, one drop of the nectar of hearing about Krishna touches your heart and your life is ruined, meaning your material life. And it's so beautiful. But so she's saying these things as if she is angry to that bumblebee, right? Who's black and yellow. And then they say, is it really Krishna who's come to observe? You know, like she's treating him as the messenger of Krishna. It's so beautiful what's there. But Ban Maharaj and Babaji Maharaj like to hear Guru Maharaj explain this. So I asked Guru Maharaj, like, if he would one day do that. It was just, you know, hopeless, like maybe. And so the day finally came. And what I learned from Gurudev, say something here, then say something a little more, then say something, and then he can decide, does he want to continue? So it came like that. And then Guru Maharaj understood it was that time to speak about that. And I will say that like that there. And what Guru Maharaj spoke was incomprehensibly beautiful, divine fragments about the pressure of love and affection upon the heart. That's all I can say. That it's not something that could be repeated, but was just stunning and extraordinary. And we're told in Vrindavan that Ban Maharaj at his Oriental Institute, that was the name of it, down from the road, Raman Reti, Krishna Balaram, he had a bomb shelter built there, right? That means underground room, right? And it's and where's that at Radha Shama Sundar? We see the underground room of Shama, you know, it's extraordinary. You know, when you see, it's still glowing with some sort of divine radiation from the Krishna Katha that may have taken place there. Anyway, Ban Maharaj had this bomb shelter built, you know, and that's where they would go for this talk. Underground, like, and Guru Maharaj said, Babaji Maharaj was laughing and smiling, and he said, such high talks in the lowest place, you know. he saw that as delightfully charming. So anyway, but just to cap this, that Guru Maharaj, then he thought, Vrindavan is for the highest section of liberated souls. Don't feel myself fit. So then he went to toward Navadvip, and he's thinking Gangbir, that is the place where, again, he's sort of, you can use the word retirement. He's going to spend his final days. And he's saying Gangbir and Puri again. And see the connecting. This is Uddhav carries the place of the Brahma Gita. What did we just say? The Brahma Gita is again going on in the Gangbir and Puri. But then Guru Maharaj is thinking more deeply, and then he said that the non-liberated section will achieve their fortune in Navadvip, we're told. So then he goes toward Navadvip, but then his perfect thinking that Nityananda Prabhu is the Dhameswar of Navadvip and the visa granting officer. So he goes to Ekachakra, Birachandrapur, and there before that deity of Nityananda Prabhu, that Gurudev said, you will not see a more beautiful Nityananda Prabhu. Shastanga Dandavad's praying, you are Patita Pavana, only you can give admittance into Navadip Dham. Please give me shelter there. And the inspiration comes to him because he was hesitating to initiate at that time. That the inspiration comes from Nityananda Prabhu. But you do not give Patita shelter. If you will give Patita shelter, then you can take shelter there. So he understood he needed to begin that wealth that Guru Maharaj has, allowing others to have that most fortunate connection. And then just to cap this, so then you could think, then run to Mayapur. You know, not Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj saying, no, in Navaditam, where is that place? The Aparad Bhanjan Airpat, where all the offenders are forgiven their offenses. Navadvipa Koladri Raje, right? Ganga Tata Nikata, Navadvipa Koladri Raje, on the banks of the Ganga and the Gupta Govardhan. At the Aparad Bhanjan Airpat, where all the offenders are forgiven their offenses, there humbly he will enter, and there he established Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And on this day, the Bahulastami, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj took sannyas. And I would like our Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj to speak about that holy pastime.
Maharaj, because you are asking, then in service, I must try to do so. And first Maharaj obeisances to Your Holiness, to Sripad Nyasi Maharaj, the sannyasis and devotees who are present here and with us. And actually, it is only yesterday that Gurudev knew that he would take sannyas today. And this came about that each year and maybe twice a year, Guru Maharaj, for many years, was asking to Govinda Maharaj, you must take sannyas, you must take sannyas. And Govinda Maharaj always was saying, yes, Guru Maharaj, I understand, but later, not this time, later, I'll settle everything and then later. And then yesterday, as it were, back in 1985, then Guru Maharaj again saying to Govinda Maharaj, you must take sannyas, now you must take sannyas. And Gurudev answering in the way that he had done previously. And then Guru Maharaj seriously told to him, if you do not take sannyas tomorrow, I shall leave from the world, I shall withdraw. And of course, without any hesitation or anything else. And Gurudev replied to him, the Bengali expression, which I don't know, which is, I am your souled goat. I am your goat. You can do with me as you wish. You can cut my tail. You can cut my head. And this way, then he accepted that he will take sannyas on this day. And I know this, and we know this from Gurudev himself. He's telling us just what took place. And Gurudev came and he's giving this news after talking with Guru Maharaj. And I remember three of us actually, Gurudev came and he would have a drink that is a drink called Garam Jal in the afternoon, and that particular drink. Anyhow, Gurudev is sitting informally with myself and one of our sannyasis, and Dayal Nitai Prabhu, who gives a clue as to the sannyasi, the servitor. And he's sitting, and Gurudev is taking this very seriously. And he said, I know what Guru Maharaj is doing. He said, if I was an ordinary person, if I didn't know very well, I think, okay, very good, Guru Maharaj is going to give me sannyas. But I know what he's doing. He's preparing to leave from this world. He wants to give me sannyas, and then step by step, he's preparing to leave from the world. And he said, this is why I have been avoiding taking sannyas for so long. I don't want to give any assistance, as it were, for Guru Maharaj to, any cooperation for Guru Maharaj to leave the world. I'll give some resistance perhaps in this way. That then, anyhow, this year, Guru Maharaj insisting he takes sannyas. And so, of course, Gurudev, then he's saying yes. But then that afternoon, he's saying, I know what Guru Maharaj is doing. He's making this preparation. And so it was not that it was a happy, like sannyas, as it were, for Gurudev, in the sense of he knows that Guru Maharaj is now putting into his plan, his program for withdrawing from the world, which indeed we see, because he received sannyas today, which is the day before his own Vyasa Puja, Srila Guru Maharaj's own Vyasa Puja. And this is the time, especially at that time, when most of the devotees from around the world and around India, from Bombay, Delhi, everywhere, they would come for Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. Vyasa Puja and Gaura Purnima were the two big days in the year when we'd have most devotees all in one place, and especially the leading devotees, the sannyasis, the leaders from many quarters. So very publicly, Guru Maharaj, then he arranged that Srila Govinda Maharaj will receive sannyas. So there'll be many witnesses, there'll be many people who see. And then the very next Gaura Purnima, which is coming up. So in other words, in 1985, Vyasa Puja, Guru Maharaj gave sannyas. And then the next occasion when many leaders and many people come from around the world is Gaura Purnima. And at that Gaura Purnima, then Guru Maharaj, he made the next step, if you like, which was now Srila Govinda Maharaj is a sannyasi, everybody knows this. And now next step is I'm giving everything to Govinda Maharaj, and I'm publicly declaring it. And from this day on, I withdraw. I retire from that position, as it were, and I'm giving everything to Govinda Maharaj. So indeed, Gurudev knew that this was taking place and was happening, this plan and program, if you like. And we see that now for over 2 years from that point when he'd given all charge. Then with Guru Maharaj in the background, as far as the secretary, president, Acharya, everything of the Chaitanya Saraswati Math, Guru Maharaj himself withdrawn. He already considered himself a back pusher, and now he's fulfilled actually a 40-year desire from, you can say, 1947 or 48, that time. Then Guru Maharaj wanted to prepare Srila Govinda Maharaj as his successor, wanted that he will take sannyas, take the charge, and he will continue the mission. And so this was a very long-standing wish of Guru Maharaj. And I can say that Guru Maharaj on his Vyasa Puja morning, means the next day after his sannyas, so in other words, tomorrow in 1985, my impression was Guru Maharaj looked and seemed very light and happy. Like he really, this was right or wrong, I don't know, because I'm a emotion or devotion, perhaps, I'm not the person maybe to ask about the differentiation. But anyhow, from our view to sort of seeing Guru Maharaj. He felt very light, and he was talking about Govinda Maharaj, and he was very happy on his own Vyasa Puja morning, that very next day. Anyhow, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he's an open book. He's an open book, and he revealed many things to the devotees close to him about his having taken sannyas, etc. And the day itself, this day, then the sannyas, after the sannyas ceremony, then came onto the front of Guru Maharaj's veranda upstairs, and there are some quite famous photographs taken there with many of the leading sannyasis and their dandas, and looking very radiant there, with Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and Srila Guru Maharaj. And there, yes, and officiating at that, we see the one of the photos there. And then Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, who is very expert in all the ritualistic side, the formalities of the fire yagis, etc. And then by Guru Maharaj's request, then he did the formalities. And then after that, Gurudev himself, freshly shaven head, wearing bright, shining cloth, and I mean, really looking wonderful. He's begging with his uttarya for the bhiksha after
Bhavati Bhikkham Dehi.
Indeed, Maharaj.
Sanskrit mantra. Bhavati Bhikkham Dehi.
Yeah, just so wonderful. And the relationship of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, this whole relationship, this is one of those like peak memorable moments, and an example also of like the affectionate dealings between Guru and disciple, the relationship of the disciple to Guru. I mean, it's just so intimate and close, and the full self-surrender of Srila Govinda Maharaj. But he said, I know what Guru Maharaj is doing. And this way, little unhappy. But he was also, of course, happy to fulfill the wish of Guru Maharaj. And we were just reflecting too that time there was no driver, or where the driver was, I don't know, but I was driving Gurudev. And so I was driving him very soon after all these matters. And Gurudev, really, he was saying many sweet things in the car, which, I mean, our things maybe, but he was saying many sweet things. But really, his whole mood, he's Guru Maharaj. His Guru Maharaj is doing this. I'm his, and here I am. It's not my plan. It's not my wish. And Gurudev adjusting to the time, place, and circumstance. And I, myself, 2 days before, I didn't even know it was in the air that he was going to take sannyas. And then the day before was when I got the news, and I think that is fairly fair to say for most of us, at least from the Western side. And then suddenly the sannyas took place today. And there are different aspects to this, but maybe worth mentioning about how Gurudev really, he knows the mind, the intention of Guru Maharaj. And in Guru Maharaj's wills, the will that he'd made over the course of many years, he'd revised his will at different times. But there he'd always told that Govinda Maharaj will be the successor, that he is my successor, etc. And if he has not taken sannyas when I depart from this world, then there will not be a charger of the mat. There won't be, say, by the president or charger of the mat as such. And you must wait until he takes sannyas. And you must wait 5 years. If after 5 years he does not take sannyas, then some committee, then some way it will be adjusted. But this way, then also we can say, even in black and white, we can understand that intense desire. Intense desire is one thing, but Gurudev's clarity that Govinda Maharaj, he's carrying what he's got and he's giving to him. So this sannyas day, it is very extremely significant for us all, and a very intense day in Navadip. Navadip, the day before Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja, is always an intense day because many devotees are coming, lots of preparation and many things. Add to this, Gurudev receiving sannyas from Guru Maharaj, And you can be sure this was a very intense day in Navadip Dham and a wonderful day. That's something I can say, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful, wonderful. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Sannyas Leela Ki Jai.
Jai.
Yes. Hare Krishna. It could only be Srila Gurudev. Just that one tiny thing that Maharaj just to understand to the degree Guru Maharaj's desire that he, and you know, tell in different ways, how you say, giving suggestion more than suggestion. Sometimes Gurudev would say, but my chart says, you know, that I won't live. You know, Guru, I take your chart and throw in the Ganga. I'm giving you life. What did he say to 82? Wasn't he gave a particular amount? Yeah.
Actually, to 80, I believe, Maharaj.
Yeah, all right, 80. But he's saying, I'm giving you. And different things would happen. And then once, because you see Srila Puri Maharaj there in the picture, Guru is saying, if you don't, then I shut the mat and send the deities to Puri Maharaj. This tells us that as far as Guru Maharaj is concerned, it can only be Srila Govinda Maharaj. Sometimes, and Srila Govinda Maharaj would say that, like he said, in Guru Maharaj's lifetime, when I was secretary of the mat, he's saying, I was a dictator. Then after he became Acharya, he said, now it is democracy. So he actually liked the secretary position. We don't understand that fully, but in Gaudiya Mat parlance, the secretary, that the Acharya is the figurehead, and the secretary is the shaker, mover, and manager of the Mat and mission. That's Srila Guru. He liked that, doing the seva and being in the background, and said, you can, one of our other, my godbrothers, you can, and I'll, like I do for you, I'll do that for them. The way I do for you, I'll do that for them also. It was not his ego assertion. He wants to ascend to this post. And he always made it a point that because Guru Maharaj is and this we should understand, Guru Maharaj is the founder Acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. There's only, just as Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Saraswati Thakur is the founder Acharya of Sri Gaudiya Mat. Guru Maharaj is the founder Acharya of the Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. There's only one founder Acharya. You can't have another one because of that word found. So founder Acharya, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat is Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami. So his successor is His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, who would always make it a point to say, President Sevait Acharya. He would always say, like, I'm doing, my Acharyaship is seva. Not meant to promote me personally. I'm accepting this in service to Srila Guru Maharaj, who's the founder Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And this mat is about promoting Srila Guru Maharaj's conceptions. And I'm saying Srila Gurudev accepted us to assist in his service to Srila Guru Maharaj. So anyway, so many things he said as Srila Madhusudan Maharaj is saying, and that time came, and happily, he also came to my room the evening before to tell me what was going to happen the next day and to tell me certain things. And it was very wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. And Srila Guru Maharaj said, like Madhusudan Maharaj was saying, like how happy and relieved Guru Maharaj seemed to be, floating a little bit. I also agree. But he would say also, now you're going to, because Srila Gurudev always staying in the background, and now he's going to gradually come in the foreground, and Guru Maharaj would say, and you're going to see what he's got. He's saying he came with something already, And then under Guru Maharaj's affectionate guidance, the full blossoming of the devotional heart, unparalleled of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. And I just say this, that like, so sometimes I go over certain things that, like we're saying, prapto jasya pratita kripa. So I'm saying, where did this come from? How did, and when I see the things that come from Srila Gurudev, and I mean on the sloka level, and that's, Guru Maharaj was talking about these kind of things, as Vaishnava Maharaj, Shruta Shravar Prabhu would say, we're in London, and we'd go to see Gurudev sometimes like 3:30, like the earlier the better. And he'd be there, and sometimes he's quoting slokas from the Antya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita and other places. And Vaishnava Maharaj would look at me and say, like, are we like the most fortunate people alive or what? You know, and say also, we are like the chatak birds, you know, waiting for that drop, you know. And he was giving more than a drop, you know, an ocean of flow. But I'd say, Jai, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, ki Jai. But then I think like, Runda Nambu Vitas Tamatkati Param Kurbus Muhutumburum. The Rupa Goswami sloka about the flute, the effects of the flute song of Krishna, that came from Gurudev. Kwa Nanda Kula Chandrama, Kwa Shiki Chandra Kalankriti. This sloka, again, Rupa Goswami, is like the churning of the milk ocean that produced the moon. What does Rupa Goswami say? Where is that moon who appeared from the ocean of the Yadu dynasty? Like Mahaprabhu's relishing this day and night. That the Kosturi Tilakam Lalata Palake, so Krishna Karnamritam. So when I make my list of like which things came from Gurudev, they're all these kind of things. The Rupa Goswami sloka about the effects of the sound of the kokil upon the heart of Srimati Radharani, like all, and I'm going like, all of these things are incredibly high and wonderful and unique, and they sprung from the heart, unparalleled devotional heart of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. So then I remember back to Gurudev saying, Guru Maharaj saying, the day after sannyas, and if you will get to know him more intimately, then you will see what sort of wealth he has. Guru Maharaj said it in that, and his bright acharjaship in the future. It was like along those lines, but there's really something encrypted in there as well. When he talked about, if you will get to know him more intimately and personally, then you'll see the unique wealth that he possesses. Hare Krishna. And this is the manifestation day of Sri Radha Kunda. And there's I like to preface my remarks by saying, Guru Maharaj saying that, what is Radha Kunda? He said, Saraswati Thakur telling it, it is not water in the conventional sense. Because as we know, Madhusudan Maharaj, back to Bhakta basics, Upadeshamritam. Everyone's running to the last sloka, the last few slokas, to bathe in Radha Kunda. And what is Guru Maharaj saying? You know, plodding in the mud of misconception, thinking they are swimming in the divine waters of Radha Kunda. And so Madhusudan Maharaj in back to Bhakta basics. Where do they start? Vacho Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, Udaros, you know, Jiva Vegam, Udarostava Vegam, etc. You know, controlling the tongue. These very basic things that if that's not there, then this so-called bathing, going in Radha Kunda is operatic, hallucinatory, fictitious, fantasy, madness, detrimental. So, and what is Srila Guru Maharaj telling us? Because Radha Kunda is Srimati Radharani in liquid form. how can you put your feet there? Right? So they're saying, really what we're being told, and who is she? Why is she Sri Radha? Aradita? Aradhana, the one who worships Krishna best. How? By self-giving, by totally offering herself in service. So it means Atmani Vedanam, Atma Samarpanam, to the extreme, no higher. So it says, you're being told, bathe in those waters of self-sacrifice and self-giving. Those are the waters you should bathe in. That is Radha Kunda. Yes, that is recommended. But in the Bhagavatam, as Leela would have it, remember Yoga Maya and Baladev casting, scripting Krishna Leela. And it's mentioned there on this day, at the end of one day, when that time would come, then Krishna has some excitement about Rasa Leela, anticipation, moon, right? Like Vishvanath would say, the moon rose in the eastern sky, And then Vishvanath Chakravarti starts extracting. Well, but that is not the moon's wife. That, the eastern direction, and he starts and saying, this is just saying the moon rose in the eastern sky means that moon from the Yarukul who came from the ocean is going to have pastimes with the supreme goddess of fortune who also came out of the Kshirsagar. So anyway, that one of those kind of nights come, because he said, then he indicates the Yoga Maya, cast, set, script, everyone, assemble the qualified servitors. But this particular day, if there's some obstruction, that means it will be even better. Right? So toward the end of the day, this demon in the form of a bull, right? Bull, generally think of as dharma, worshipable. We worship, the cow and the bull, and comes in the form of a bull, a rather large bull. We're told, like, his horns are so high, they're like the clouds when assembled around him. They thought it was the hump on his back was some kind of a mountain. So clouds saying, oh, let's go over there, like they're also persons, Chenmoy and that, and they're like, oh, and he's walking around with the clouds and the horns and, and it seems like, what's going on here? And, they're getting ready for the evening's activities. There's cowherd, gopas, gopis, everything. And he decides to disrupt the festivities, right? So what is he doing? He's going around with his hooves, digging up the dirt, kicking up dirt, taking his horns, tearing the ground. And we're told, and randomly, passing some urine here, passing some stool there, and this is disturbing the gopas and the gopis. And what do we hear in the song? Brajajana palana asurakula nashana. Paritranaya sarunam binashaya. And they go to Krishna. Govinda, where this bull is making so much disturbance to your beloved devotees. Krishna, what? Then Krishna comes there. Who are you? And deals with him in a very disrespectful way. And he said, you dare disturb my beloved devotees? Don't you know, I descended in the world to kill demons like you. You didn't hear Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song? Brajajana palana asurakula nashana. So this makes Aristasura very angry. And just to show further disrespect, after Krishna starts insulting him, he just casually leans back and puts his arm around Subal. Like, I could care less about people like you. You're nothing. He's looking so relaxed and casual, arm on Subal. Subal's very happy. And that makes Aristasura so angry. So he's like we see, and he's coming with the horns and trying to attack Krishna. And then what happens? Krishna takes him like a wet rag. His body slamming him. And that's knocking him senseless. And then he has those beautiful big horns. So Krishna just rips one out of his head and stabs him with it. And of course, this is to the delight of all the devotees. It's a bloody mess. And all the demigods, they're off showering flowers, they're singing and dancing, but it's really a bloody mess. And Krishna's also got blood on his hands, right? And he's thinking like, all right, so that's been taken care of. And turns toward Radharani and Braja Gopis, now rasa dance. And they go, whoa, look at you. No, don't come near us. You just killed a cow, a bull. Don't you? I mean, you know what it says in the Dharma Shastra, right? And Krishna is saying, that's not a real bull. It's a demon. It's an asura who's taking the form of a bull. It's not a real one. Srimati Radharani is saying, still, the optics are not good. You know. So just in principle, what you've done is reprehensible. So you need to do something to purify yourself. She's saying, the ultimate purifier of everything. That this is Radharani. He's saying, you need to clean yourself up and purify yourself. Otherwise, you can't come near us. Right? Then Krishna's thinking, what to do? She said, bathe in the holy river or something like that, appropriate. He goes, oh, all right. By his Krishna ways, he summons all the holy rivers there are. Right? And they all come before him with folded palms, and he makes the Shyama Kunda, right? So he makes his pun and saying, look at this, and now I'm pure. What is speaking one? I brought all the holy rivers of the world, and that now I'm 100% pure. And what say you, Radharani? And she's saying that's good, but seeing his Kunda, and Krishna saying, do you have anything that compares to this? I don't think so. Right? And she's thinking, she looks to her gopi friends and says and associates, we need to make a Kunda that is so much more beautiful than this one. Like probably just say transcendental competition. So, and there was one hoof from that giant Aristasura, Hare Krishna, so there's like a ditch that's already dug out somewhat, and she summons all the Braja Gopis, and with their bare hands, they dig. And within an hour, they make a superior place. Right? And at that time, a representative of all the personified holy rivers appears before him saying, Goddess, we have one request of you. And because Krishna is saying you can use the water from my Kunda. No, look, it has all that Aristasura stuff. Ours will be from Manasa Ganga. That's what so we have our Kunda and we fill with Manasa Ganga, and look how much more beautiful ours is than yours. Then the representative of all holy rivers comes and saying, oh, Supreme God, you're so kind and so merciful. We have one request of you, and that you please allow us to flow into your Kunda. and it says there that that Srimati Radharani, she's looking out of the corner of her eyes at Krishna, and then she's saying like, okay. and then she says very beautifully, and she's saying actually, and they all start flowing into Radha Kunda, and she's saying, Krishna, he says, I will come and bathe in your kund every day. And she said, you can kill thousands of aristas and it won't touch you in any way. And yes, you can come bathe in my kunda every day, which he does. So Guru Maharaj said, Saraswati Thakur there, he's talking Upadesha, and if you show that picture, or the so-called barrier between Shyama Kunda and Radha Kunda, sometimes told to be Ananga Manjari, there Saraswati Thakur would speak to his followers on what? Upadeshamritam, starting with Vacho Vegam. Ultimately, this bathing in Radha Kunda, but all these other things before that, yeah, that's the center part. And so, but that said, our Sri Guru Varga, the Rupanuga line, where is the location? We're told the northeastern corner of Radha Kunda. That is the place of Raghunath Das Goswami. And the other Goswamis come, and Madhusudan Maharaj, Keshavananda Prabhu, no, there's so many others around there, but when we go, that side that we go to, it's not random. It's called the northeastern corner of Radha Kunda. That is the place of Raghunath Das Goswami and the Rupanuga line. And as we told, that Das Goswami, who says, Nija Nikata Nivasam Dehi Govardhanatvam, he praying to Giriraj Govardhan for shelter. Giriraj Govardhan taken to be Krishna, Radha Kunda taken to be Srimati Radharani. And he, in his final days, we're told, on his hands and knees, he's crawling on the divine soil of Radha Kunda. It said, Muke Radha Radha Bole Beshe Nayanera Jali Radhe Radhe. It is Das Goswami who says Radhe Radhe. We accept no substitute. Right? That is an expression from the heart of Das Goswami, crawling on his hands and knees, 80 years old in Vrindavan. What does it say? Muke Radha Radha Bole Beshe Nayanera. Tears streaming down his eyes, drenching his clothes. He's taking the name of Radharani and expresses in his Bilapa Kusumanjali, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu Mai Katanchit, Kalo Mayati Gamita Kilasam Pratamhi, Tamchet Pripamaya Vidasa Sinaiva Kimme, Prane Brajena Chabororu Bakarinapi. That he's saying, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu, the service of your holy lotus feet. Guru Maharaj said, this prayer, one of the noteworthy aspects, it's a direct prayer to Radharani. And we say, is that allowed? But if we take Radharani, Supreme Guru, he's praying to Guru. You can say also for adjustment. It's saying, the service of your holy lotus feet, Radha Dasyam, that is, the Radha Rasa Shuddhanidhi. That is my aspiration. That is what, and maintaining that aspiration gives meaning to my life. And if that is withdrawn, the possibility, the prospect of the service of your holy lotus feet, then I have no reason to live. Pran means life. What is the value of pran, of my life, if that prospect is not there? Then you would think, well, that would be enough. No, then it's ratcheted higher. And what is more valuable than my life? We can say, well, generally speaking, people do not think there's anything more valuable than their own life. But Das Goswami does. What is that? Vrindavan, Braja. We're on the Braja Mandal Parikrama. He's saying, but that Braja, without you, Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam, without the holy lotus feet of Radharani and the service of those. What is Braja to me? And what's more, ratcheted one more from Pran Brajena Cha Bororu Bakarinapi, and oh beautiful one, Radharani, without you, Krishna, Guru Maharaj's word, is a dreadful thing. Reality, the beautiful, sweet, beautiful Krishna. He says, without you, he's not so sweet, not so beautiful. What? Bakari, Bakasura. Bakari means the killer of Baka, like the demon killer. When he's so sweet and beautiful, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna at the right hand of Radharani. Without Radharani, that Krishna, he's recoiling from. So that is the prayer of Raghunath Das Goswami. Guru said the greatest disciple in the Rupanuga line, the Prayojan Tattva Acharya, indicating clearly. He's saying it's there in the writings of Rupa and Sanatan. He's saying, but Das Goswami is saying boldly, openly, clearly, unmistakably, that ultimately our aspirational service is in Radha Dasyam, the service of the holy lotus feet of Radharani, in the Rupanuga line. Hare Krishna. And Madhusudan Maharaj, you know that section there, if you can just say a little more. Remember, we go after Das Goswami and you told, oh, here's Gopal Bhatta, and there's that other Lalita. If you just say a little more.
Yes, okay, so very briefly, Maharaj. Yes, we come first, when we come to Radhakunda, we very first come to Raghunath Das Goswami and take his permission to come to the Kund and the associated places there. And so then from there, we take a few drops of water with great respect, and then we come up the steps, and along that, the steps which go towards that Sangam that you mentioned, the join between Radhakunda and Shyama Kunda. On the way, there's almost a hidden narrow doorway that you can go up with some steep steps, and just there is Gopal Bhatta Goswami's Bhajan Kutir by Radhakunda and Shyama Kunda's junction. And then often just beside there is where we speak, where you speak, Maharaj. There's a little area there where we sit on the steps. As Kumkum said, we put an asan so that the speaker will speak nicely on a respectable seat. And then there's a gentle place there where we usually get a chance to speak. And then there's the teen samadhi. Recently, we had the disappearance of Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who disappeared on the same day, but quite different years, as we understand from the generations. And yes.
And then that I must say that is that, so remember, so that Das Goswami, the one who, taking buttermilk in a leaf cup. And remember, buttermilk in India means when you take milk and make butter, there's this like whitewash left over. That's why they easily give it. It's considered of no value practically whatsoever. So they'll freely give that to those doing madhukari, and that Das Goswami who will toss the leaf cup that, where is this from? They go, Saki Stali, the place of Chandravali, throwing that, and that meaningful to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur, same spirit in the songs of Bhaktivinoda, that Guru said when that line would come about that, I don't like to hear that mean mouth Saibya, friend of Chandravali, when I hear, she wants to take Krishna away and make Radharani unhappy, Saraswati Thakur's body would be jerking, Guru Maharaj said, when that line would come in the song, like it's that meaningful to him. So that Raghunath Das Goswami author of the Mukta Charit and Vilapaku's Manjali and so many other things. Remember, we're thinking like, so what can he give? And you know what we see, he not even living has a kutir, right? Living under a tree on the banks of Radha Kunda, the famous story of the tiger, Sanatan seeing that and then making some arrangement for him. So you think like, what contribution can he make? Does he make? Right. He's, you know, remember, Chaitanya Leela Ratnasar Swaruper Bandar. Swarup Damodar is the storehouse of Chaitanya Leela. Everything we have is coming from him via Raghunath Das Goswami. All of that wealth is within Raghunath Das Goswami. He's not carrying something around, right? Other than Giriraj Govardhan, the Govardhan Shila given by Mahaprabhu, which is like this size. I told Mahaprabhu keeping on his heart, but this is putting on his head, all over him, but holding like that sometimes, and then that thumbprint. So like that, but the storehouse, the wealth of Swarup Damodar, of Chaitanya Leela, the Ratnakani, the jewel mine of Gaur Leela, is all within Raghunath Das Goswami. That he's carrying internally in his heart. And when he's crawling on that divine soil of Radhakunda, who comes as his servitor? But Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu. And then there's the full transfer of that wealth from Swarup Damodar and Raghunath Das Goswami to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu, who on the inspiration and the auspices of the great devotees presents, and Guru Maharaj's word, the greatest literature to ever seen the light of day and all time, all space, and all creations, Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam. Continue, Maharaj, please.
Well, Maharaj, just coming, after doing circumambulation, coming out of there, just going straight forwards, and after 3 meters, maybe turning right, then down that little passageway, we come to the bhajan kutir of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, when he would stay there at Radha Kunda, because he didn't stay always in Vrindavan. We know sometimes he was be there with Raghunath Das Goswami, etc. and others. So his bhajan kutir is there. And opposite that and down a couple of steps is where Raghunath Das Goswami's bhajan kutir was, as is indicated today. And just beside that, in the next generations, Vishvanath Chakravarti's bhajan kutir also was just next to, very close to Raghunath Das Goswami's bhajan kutir, and then steps down to Shyama Kunda.
Hare Krishna. And what we told this evening about the glorious manifestation of Sri Sri Radha Kunda and so comes from Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur via the Puranas, perhaps Padma Purana or one, but taken by Vishvanath, presented in his commentary on the Aristasura chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, some concluding words for this evening?
Well, Maharaj, I don't think we can finish. I think we have to say it's wonderful that we can jump from Vrindavan temple, come today on this special day. And I can just maybe add a little bit that today at Radha Kunda, if anybody's ever in Govardhan at this time and they think, oh, we'll go because it's the manifestation day, it's a very busy day. Many tens of thousands or more of people go. And by arrangement of the Lord, you can't actually go to Radha Kunda itself today anyway, because in the recent years, they literally put a strong bamboo fence and soldiers as guards to stop people going. And this way, people drowning by being pushed in. So it is become a very big pilgrimage place, and at this time. But we can also think it's also the Lord's arrangement, so that you can say the general pilgrims who would put their feet and bathe in the water and not understand where they are, that they don't make offense to the Kund, that they can circumambulate the area and continue on their parikrama of Govardhan Hill. But just a little note in case you happen to be there and think, well, today, our day, go down there and take some water from Radha Kunda. It's not possible. Anyhow, Maharaj, it is today. So we are very much both there in Thailand, in many places here also around the world. We're very much on a similar time to India. And so we can relate to the fact that right at this very moment, many people are doing parikrama of Govardhan Hill and coming to give their obeisances to Radha Kunda. And for us, the devotees, it's part of kind of the build-up to tomorrow, to Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. And it is Kartik month, and this is it's the climax, if you like, of our pilgrimage, really, coming to Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja tomorrow, with all these things taking place before that. And of course now, today, the new chapter of service to Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sunda in Thailand adds to this build-up to Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja.
Now remember, Guru Maharaj's deities, Govinda Sundar, Guru Maharaj's Acharya, Sundar Govinda. He's making it easy for us. Govinda Sundar, Sundar Govinda.
And Maharaj, on this note, we can jump back to Vrindavan and come before the deities there, Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava, Rasa Bihari Juki, Jai. And we have Hari Harayanama Krishna and prepare for tomorrow. And anyone who's free afterwards, please help putting up decorations and getting everything ready for the festival tomorrow.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha. Jadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Garadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunath. Hey Chai Go Chai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jaha Hoite Vignanas Abhishta Puran. Hey Chai Go Chai Dharmui Tarodas. Tansabada Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Janame More Avilas. Hey Chai Go Chai Jave Braje Koilovas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman. Sri Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narotamadan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Gaur Hari Bo Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Gaur Hari Bo Sri Brajamandal ki jai, Sri Bahulastami ki jai, the divine manifestation of Sri Radha Kunda ki jai, the sannyas of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Giridhari Jiu ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajaka Charja Satar Sada Sri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jai Sagar Kishordas Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki jai, Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga, Gandharva Govinda Sundar Jiu ki jai, Gandharva Rasa Bihari Jiu ki jai, Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Jiu ki jai, Sri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinda Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadip Dham ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, Sri Gupta Govardhan ki jai, Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki jai, Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda ki jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Vimalavadut Maharaj ki jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai, Sannyasi Vrinda ki jai, Seva Vrinda ki jai, Kumkum Didi ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande.
Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Brajamando Parikrama ki jai. Go Premanandi Srila Guru Maharaj Sabir Bab Mahamahotsav Adibas ki jai. Hare Krishna. Jai, Jai Kum Kum Didi ki jai. Oh, says Kalindi Priya Ko Chung, Thailand. Dandavat. Praneshwari Didi, Dandavat, Sri Leka Didi, my Dandavats, and the tongues, Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Dandavat. Jai, Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Keshvananda Prabhu and the Vila Govinda Bhakta Vrinda. Ki jai. Vividha Didi in Nizhny Novgorod, Dandavat, Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu in Vrindavan, Dandavat, Devashish Prabhu in London, Dandavat, Rupa Vilas Prabhu in the Philippines, Dandavat, Nama Priya Didi, Dandavat, Bhagavan Das Prabhu, Dandavat, Jai Sulbhakti, Ashray Dandi Maharaj, Dandavat, Dibya Shakti Didi, Dandavat, Brajalatika Didi, Dandavat, Jai Shri Bhakti Sevan Rishikesh Maharaj, Dandavat, Sripad Bhakti Vigurahan Nasi Maharaj, Dandavat. And this is our beloved Didi and China, Sushmita's friend, Dandavat, Nihao, Hare Krishna, Krishna Priya Didi, at Govinda Farm, Dandavat, Dhananjay Prabhu and Chaitanya, Moi, Dandavat, they're in Roma, Pandita, Didi, Dandavat, Bhaktabandhu Prabhu in Philippines, Dandavat, Bhanavi Didi, also in Rome, right? Hare Krishna, Dandavat, Sri Hari Prabhu in Brazil, Dandavat, Anjali and Odarjalila, Dandavat, they're in, where in the Ukraine? In Ukraine. Somewhere. Right. Jai Sri and Salt Lake, Dandavat Didi. Subhashini Didi in Ireland, Dandavat. Gaurachandra Prabhu in Russia, Dandavat. Alokananda Didi, Dandavat. Tungarasa, Dandavat. Ajita Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat. Yes, put some light on that face. Leela Sundar Prabhu, Dandavat. Sushmita Didi, Dandavat in China. Hare Krishna. Ratan Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat. Prem Narayan Prabhu, Dandavat. Seva Rupa Didi in South Africa, Dandavat. Krishna Mohini Didi, Dandavat. Suchitra Didi, Dandavat. Ragaleka Didi, Dandavat. Bijoy Krishna Prabhu in London, Dandavat. Nadia Priya Didi, Dandavat. Suchitra, Dandavat. Who was this? Oh, that's Krishna Kanta Didi. And when Dandavat. Nadia Priya Didi, Dandavat. Janavi in China, Dandavat, Hare Krishna. Oh, see, she is wearing the saffron basement. Jamuna is here. Sulakshana Didi translating in the Chinese is here. Nityananda Das translating in the Russian Russia is here. Rasananda Prabhu, Dandavat, Ira, Dandavat. Biroja, Dandavat, Kamalini Didi, Dandavat, Shanti Moi Didi, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Does everyone, Nama Priya Didi, Dandavat. Prafula Krishna, Dandavat. Dhananjaya Prabhu in Russia, Dandavat. Chandrakanti Didi in China, Dandavat. Ananda Leela Didi, Dandavat. Sankarshan. Where? Oh, Dandavat Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
He's to India to assist Madhusudan Maharaj.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Oh, wonderful. Jaganmata Didi, Dandavat as well. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpa Tribhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Dandavat. Show all the devotees here on camera.
And if any of you like to join us, we're just now, after 10 minutes, going out on Harinam Sankirtan in Milan. Come and join us. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Dandavat, Dandavat. Oh, Maharaj will be with us. We're very happy to see.
Yes. Because Mahaprabhu is dancing.
Jai. Dandavat, dear devotees.
Raised in the air. So who's doing that?